We're just talking about how serene and amazing it is, and all of a sudden, some guy's back there just revving his boat engine. But nope, it stopped, and we're back to serenity.
Coming up in this episode, we'll be showcasing Khao Sok National Park. We'll show you how we got from the city of Ranong all the way to the park, our one night that we spent outside of the park, and us walking nearly an hour to get to a 7-Eleven. We'll show you our journey from the pier all the way to our floating bungalow, and show you just how stunning Khao Sok National Park truly is. We'll show you some of our adventures within the park while also being a couple of nerds. We'll give you our first impressions and an entire price breakdown on how much it costs to stay in Khao Sok National Park.
Avada Kedavra!
Here we go again.
So anyways, if you've been following along, we just spent almost a week on Koh Phangan. If you haven't seen that video, please go back and watch it because we had an amazing time there. But anyways, we wanted to kind of talk about our travel from Ranong to Koh Sok because it was a little sketchy.
Yeah.
We didn't really know what to expect. There wasn't a bus that would take us directly there, so we booked a bus from Ranong to
Takuapa.
Takuapa.
So we walked about 1.5 miles from our hotel to the Ranong bus station and hung around, hopped on a bus, and basically the reason we did that because we want to keep trying out all these different forms of public transportation too, and we could have easily just flown from Ranong down to Khao Sok, and we decided it would save us about $50 a person probably. Yeah. It was like $6 each to take the bus, but that was only the bus from Ranong to Takuapa.
It was kind of deserted. We were expecting other buses to be there and we could just go up and pay another like $6 to get all the way to Koh Sok. That was not the situation.
Not the case.
So they only had like private minivans, and we ended up talking to another couple. One was from France and Germany?
Sounds right.
Yeah. We were talking to them. We ended up booking a private, van, I guess, with them. That took us all the way to Koh Sok terminal.
It's Koh Sok bus station. So basically,
but there's no buses that go to it.
Yeah.
So it doesn't make any sense, really.
It's only vans. I was telling Katie I kind of want to get onto my soapbox and talk about the different kinds of travel that people are doing, and especially if you're going to a high traffic place, a really popular tourist destination, like these people have it down and they know that you're trying to get there.
Really what it is, though, is like the transportation mafia is what I called it. So you get dropped off at this bus station, right? And we unfortunately, I didn't do my research. We booked our accommodation based off of how far it was from the pier. Well, most people actually stay in a different area. So where the bus terminal was the area that everybody stays in. We were 45 minutes from our accommodation. So we show up, we ask the lady, how much would a taxi be? Very expensive. But she's like, oh, if you wait an hour, you can get on another mini bus that'll take you pretty much all the way there. Also very expensive. Well, across the street, there's another kind of like bus terminal.
Another minivan station.
And she tells us, oh, no, it's same price. So we're sitting there thinking, well, we're going to have to wait a couple hours to get into another expensive minibus. And I'm like, Isaac, no. Go across the street and ask. So he goes over, and of course it's cheaper. So it's essentially like everybody knows everybody. And everybody knows that once you show up to that area, you need transportation to your accommodation. So the first place you show up, they're going to give you the highest price. Second one, a little bit lower.
This is their business and this is how they make money. And again, if you're not trying to go to a super popular tourist destination, you probably are not going to have to pay anywhere near this kind of money.
Oh, no.
But it's just one of those things where you have to pay what they say you're going to pay because they know you need to get to that destination. So it's one of those deals where for us, traveling the way that we're trying to travel, we're just kind of willing to get out of our comfort zone and haggle and talk to as many people as possible, make some friends, try and figure out a way to share the price of a van, share the price of a taxi, anything you can do to basically save like $5. And that's what we did. So it ended up being a little cheaper for us than it was for maybe the people that settled for their first option. But that
But
is what it is.
that's the name of the game. We're backpacking, we're not vacationing. If you do come to Kosak and you're on vacation, by all means, pay that price. These people work very hard. They live in a very beautiful area, and they're just trying to feed their families. And we get that, and we're very grateful. But for us and the way that we're traveling, we can't always afford to take the most expensive route. This is our little farm stay close to Khao National Park. Little apron. We got air conditioning. And we are in the jungle. I'm out of breath. This is not a good time.
Worst mistakes have been made. Already, by me, for sure. But 45-minute walk to the 7-Eleven from our
closest store.
the closest place to get any convenience goods.
I guess that's what you get for not doing all of your research.
Yeah, just some, not all.
We walked back to the homestay and paid the host 200 baht to drive us to the pier.
It took us like about 2 hours to get here from, I think it's called Chulan Pier, and they pick you up in one of they call them longtail boats, and they kind of don't tell you, but they kind of give you a tour. During that, you kind of cruise around through some awesome rock formations, and they stop a couple of different spots for you to take pictures. And then we ended up getting here about like 1:30 or 2 in the afternoon. Comes our rescue boat.
We have to be in one of the most beautiful places in the entire world.
I don't know, it's been magical. We've only been here for less than 24 hours, so.
Yeah. This place for $70 per person for one night with all food included. And they do safaris and hikes and tours.
Kayaks, tubes, it's all free with a deposit.
Yeah. So it was about $280, which is a lot more than what we were planning on spending during this time. But because it's such an amazing place, we felt like we couldn't pass it up. Also, this floating bungalow that's called the Eco Resort, Kosak
Eco Raft.
Yep. Was actually one of the cheapest ones. They have some very bougie floating rafts that have air conditioning and, I don't know, almost like butler service. And
there's one that has a pool, which is wild because
why would you want a pool?
I don't think that's necessary, but I guess some people don't like to get into beautiful, fresh blue water. Yeah. I don't know, whatever. That's just some people, I guess.
Yeah, we couldn't have asked for anything more. Right now, pretty much everybody is left. So we booked 2 nights in our little bungalow here. And I thought, one night isn't going to be enough. We want to check in, go to bed, have a full day, have another night, and then leave. And it turns out that a lot of people just stay for one night. So we are literally the only people on this floating bungalow, besides the staff, I think. So it's very quiet, very peaceful. Yeah. The water is a perfect temperature. It's not too hot outside. It's not too humid. The water is just blue. The bluest I've ever seen.
Didn't expect to be here alone either, so it's just like is adding to this like weird serenity that this place already had. Sexy. Yeah.
Wait, let me do the Elaine Bennis.
Please. Yeah. Sexy.
We saw elephants this morning.
Yeah, so we got up at 6:15 and by 7 we were on a boat to go on a little bit of a safari as
Yeah.
they call it, and they took us around the lake and then into a couple coves and inlets, and next thing you know we pull up and there's 3 or 4 other big boats sitting there with their engines cut, and we come around the corner and there's a mother elephant
And a little baby.
and a baby elephant there.
Yeah.
In the wild. So yeah, we were so happy to see that. It was just, yeah, like I said, it was just magical. Back at the pier, they do make you sign in on a little book, and of course they make you sign in and they make you write what country you're from. And we saw a couple other people from the U.S. So you know, the first couple hours and on the boat ride, we're kind of like, you think it's them? You think they're from the U.S.? No, they're German. No, they're Polish. No, they're Russian.
Yeah.
And then finally we get here and we had our big lunch, and we get to our bungalow and we start swimming. And 2 bungalows down, I see this couple, and then we finally could hear them talking, and they're swimming.
We're like, ah!
We're like, you're from America, aren't you? They're the first American couple that we've met that's been traveling like this, and gosh,
They gave
what
us,
a wealth of knowledge too.
Yeah, they gave
were
us a ton of advice.
coolest people. They've been seemingly everywhere in the world and told us a bunch of countries and landmarks and things that we need to visit while we're here, and you know, of course, helped us change our plans more than likely again. We're already completely the 180-degree opposite from what we had planned on doing to begin with, but who knows? I'm sure it'll change over and over and over again every couple of weeks or so. But yeah, we had such a great time hanging out with them, and if they're watching this, love you guys. That was so cool to meet you, and thank you so much for all the suggestions and just the great time hanging out with you guys.